I'm at Shaw's and I'm in the cooking studio with Susie. We're going to make something really cool. Rosemary tagliatelle. I have to look at it because I've never heard of this. What are we making? What is
Well,
it?
you see it often on menus. It just usually means a wider noodle, like it's usually at least ½ inch wide or longer.
Okay.
Wider, excuse me, and it's about 12 inches long or so. And I'm not going to show you the end product yet because you just have to wait. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the pasta dough first.
Okay.
Okay? Pasta dough is very simple. You can make it with flour or semolina or whatever you'd like. There's a basic pasta dough. You can look it up online if you'd like, or just come to my class. Right? That's what we're promoting, right?
Exactly.
So we're just going to make this very simple. I just use regular all-purpose flour. And you just want to scoop it in, sweep it off, and you want a nice level 2 cups in there. You see how I label everything?
Nice.
Yeah.
Keep it organized.
Well, you know what? People in class, I've had people take powdered sugar and put it in bread, and it's bad. And I totally understand. We're here to learn, right? We're also going to, I forgot my eggs, sorry.
No problem.
I need 3 large eggs. That's a huge part of pasta, and so we're going to crack these into a bowl separately first because you certainly don't want shell going into your dough.
You know you're a chef when you can do the egg cracking with one hand.
Yeah, well, not very well, but yeah.
I don't have that skill.
I'm just, it's dubious that I can do it very well. Olive oil. Now, here's where you want to use your good olive oil. Extra virgin is preferred.
Okay.
If you want to do a little more, that's fine. I'd probably max out at about 2 teaspoons. So I'm doing 2 cups of flour, 3 eggs, 1 to 2 teaspoons of olive oil or so. We definitely want salt in there, right? And we're going to use sea salt because it's my fave. And it has great flavor and uber trendy, as you know, so that's kind of cool. That's just for our sauce there. And then we're going to need some rosemary, of course. Now, when I first moved back, we just banned using any kind of dried rosemary because fresh is just so much better.
You smell it right away.
It's piney. It's really good. It's kind of strong, so you want to put it, pair your sauce carefully with this because it will kind of overtake your sauce otherwise.
Okay.
So I usually do it with meat ragouts, rosemary pasta, you know, bold flavors, venison, boar, things like that. Or of course we're doing big, bold mushroom sauce, so that's perfect. Great vegetarian dish. There's absolutely no stock in this. It's just a mushroomy goodness and Madeira.
Smells delicious.
Okay, you want to make sure you take the stems off, obviously, because these are really woody, and so you want to get rid of that and just use the green. You can guess. About 2 tablespoons. It's no big deal. If you don't have rosemary, you could use thyme, basil, right? Put it in the Cuisinart and let the machine do the work of chopping it up for you. I kind of like those big pieces of rosemary in there. I better put this in something else. We're going to drizzle in our eggs.
So you just put it right in there?
We do. Now you can do it the Italian grandma way, do it on the countertop if you want. I tend not to do that in class. It's too much work and too much mess, but look how easy that is.
Yeah.
Give me a break, right? All right. So then I usually put in a bowl and just bring it together with your hands. How pretty that is.
It's gorgeous.
Golden yellow. Really good with duck eggs. We've made duck egg pasta too. Okay, so it doesn't look like that was going to come together, but it is. It's pretty stiff right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to let that rest. And I did. I let it rest almost an hour at room temperature. And it's looking kind of stiff and dry, but it actually, when you wrap it up and you let it sit out, it gets moister, which is really strange. It gets darker, moister. It's like the flour is absorbing all the egg liquid and everything. And so it's much easier to play with, so feel that. It's much softer than the other dough.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So that's why we do that.
You wrap it in...
Just film.
Okay.
Yeah, just wrap that in film, and you're all set. So pasta, the challenge of the noodle, then, is you can do it the old-fashioned way of rolling out with a pin. Personally, that's awful. I mean, that's just way too much work. So we're not going to do that. We're going to do a machine. So
a workout.
Oh, God. It's a workout anyway with this. Yeah, you don't want to do it. So this is an Atlas machine, probably the largest maker of pasta machines. And you can get them in any upscale cooking boutique or whatever. I got this in Columbus, so.
And why are you putting flour on the outside?
Because I just want to do a little bit. I'm kind of patting it off because otherwise it'll stick and it'll tear in the rollers.
Okay.
So you want to, every pasta machine, this is just a hand crank one. Now they have some with motors and things like that. They have some that are wider. This works fine, you know, if you're just doing this at home. So I'm going to just start on 0 or the lowest number. Typically it goes 0 to 9, a lot of the machines. Okay. So you want to flatten it out, and we're going to try to get that in there.
It's like a Play-Doh machine.
Yeah, it is. It's a Play-Doh machine. If you put too much flour on it, it won't catch on the rollers either. So this is the part that I never write down, and I just tell people how to do it. You fold it in a threesome there, and then you knuckle it down so that it gets flatter for you. You put the cut side or the open side in. And by the way, I did cut that big ball of dough down into 3 pieces.
Okay.
Don't try to do the whole piece.
Yeah.
If you forget how to do this, there's amazing YouTube videos about how to make pasta, by the way. I'll just take it up through one more time. There we go. Okay. So we do this 5 times, believe it or not.
And why do you process it through so many times?
It makes it more, it mixes it actually, makes it a little more elastic, more durable, so that it'll go through really well for you. It's really fun to make, and kids love making pasta.
Yeah.
This is like their favorite kind of class. So we're going to go through once on each number so that it progressively gets thinner, right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
I usually put flour on the counter. This is why you clean your counters real well before you start. And because you don't want too much flour, but you just want enough, right?
Yeah.
The key is putting it in really straight. So you're doing good.
Am I really straight?
Yeah, you're straight.
Oh, it's coming out.
And then I pull it. Yeah, see, you can make pasta. Good job. I know. It's fun, isn't it? If you get really good.
I really accomplished something today.
I do want to say that you want to make the dough the day you use it. You really can't hold it.
Okay.
It kind of turns on you, so you need to use it the day you make it. It only takes 30 minutes on the countertop to really soften up.
Now, could you make it and cook it the day before?
Yes, you can, and you can freeze it raw if you'd like.
Oh, okay.
So if you really want that fresh taste, preserve it. We used to freeze them raw in places, Italian places I worked. So there's our fresh rosemary, and of course you want to use fresh. If you use dried, it'll be like little twigs in there. It won't be nearly as good. It won't be as pretty. It's not as edible. Okay, so here is this gigantic ribbon. And I generally flour it, and this is why we wear aprons, right? I fold it in thirds, because I'm thinking I want like about 1 foot. So I crease it a little bit so I know where my marks are. And then you can cut it with either a knife or bench scraper is what this is called. Use this in pastry kitchens a lot. Cool, huh? And then, I'm going to reach over and get some flour. And then you want to layer them up because you have to cut this into noodles, right? So you want flour between them. This is what you could use as lasagna noodles, by the way. You could use this and cook it whole and put it in your, your lasagna pan. Okay, so you got to somehow cut this. So I always fold it upon itself. Again, it's going to get wetter as it sits.
So you keep layering the flour in there?
Yeah, so let's see, I fold it basically in quarters. And then I'm going to cut it the old-fashioned way on a cutting board here into 4 wide noodles. And there you are. And then you want to separate them and fluff them with flour. This makes a pound of pasta, by the way, so it's really cheap and easy to make. It's really just a skill level. A lot of this Italian and French cuisine, it sounds really fancy, but it's really cheap to make. It's just all technique, like do you know how to make pasta, do you know how to make creme brulee and all that.
Right.
Cool, huh? So there's our pasta. Our water's coming to a boil with lots of salt in it. I used to work at an Italian place that we had to actually taste the water before we put the pasta in. So one misconception a lot of people have is they think they need to oil the pasta or they need to rinse it really well.
Yeah.
That's the last thing you want to do because you want to keep all the surface starch on the surface of the pasta so that the sauce sticks. Otherwise, your sauce tends to kind of run off and it's not appealing. So you really kind of want to boil it last minute, have your sauce ready to go.